Hey friend, Roger Christofferson here again with another first listen review. This one I was really excited to listen to. I was really wanting to hear this one. It's the new one from Andy Taylor. It's called Man's a Wolf to Man. Now, Andy Taylor has not put out a solo album in like 30 years. In case you don't know who he is the guitar player most well known for being in Duran back in the early days. He hasn't been with them for quite a while. He's joined and left here and there, but in fact, he's going to be featured on the new album. He's on like 3 of the songs on the new one they're going to be releasing next month, so excited to hear that one. But it's funny, I've actually listened to Andy Taylor for like most of my life, whether I wanted to or not, because my sister growing up was a huge Duran fan. It's funny, we used to fight over like, I tried not to like them because my sister liked them, so a kid, I wasn't allowed to like them. I was more into the hair metal and stuff, and I remember having this big blackboard out on our front porch, and I can't remember which one of us ended up doing it, but we used to write our band names on it, and she'd erase it and write Duran or, New Kids on the Block, or I'd write like Motley Crue or Def Leppard and do all the logos and everything. And I'm pretty sure it was her that took hairspray and hairsprayed Duran on it, so it ruined the whole entire blackboard. We could never use it again, but anyway, I remember hearing the Power Station, and I was like, oh, that's Andy Taylor from Duran playing guitar on that? That's actually pretty cool. So I went back and started listening to all the Duran stuff, unbeknownst to my sister. I'd sneak her cassette tapes and dupe them and be like, kind of secretly listen to them going, okay, this stuff isn't so bad. I actually kind of like this stuff. So when he left and released his first solo album, Thunder, I got that, and I love that album. I can't tell you how many times I've played that thing. He hasn't really done anything like that since. He's done a couple other things. He did a solo album that was a lot of covers. He did one that was called the Spanish Sessions. I think that was more like an EP, and a lot of soundtracks. Just songs here and there. There's a bootleg or something out there somewhere. It's just called the non-album stuff. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but nothing really main release for years. He did get back with Duran for a while, but just most recently, I guess he's been diagnosed with prostate cancer, unfortunately, and he's doing some experimental drug that's supposed to help prolong his life, but I guess it is terminal, so he's trying to get some stuff out there, and he's got a really positive outlook on life. And I guess this album started way back in like 16, 17, and then the pandemic hit, and they didn't release it because there was like no way to promote it. Then he found out he had cancer, so he had a whole lot of time to work on these songs. And so getting to the album, I know I've talked for, if without even talking about the album. I know some people complain about that, and other people like the fact that I tell stories, so I can't win either way. But anyway, the album itself is all over the place. Nothing like any of his earlier stuff at all. I had to listen to it a couple times to get like wrap my mind around the fact that this sounds nothing like any of the earlier stuff at all. The lead single there, I think, was called Man's a Wolf to Man. It's it's kind of a mid-tempo rock, not really rocking too much, but it's a pretty decent song. And then it goes right into a slower song that gradually builds. It kind of reminded me of like early Bowie. There's actually another one on there that kind of does the same thing, which is not surprising. He was really into that stuff growing up. He worked with Steve Jones. He's done a lot of producing in his life too, and he's worked with bands in that style. And maybe a Beatle-esque flavor to it, especially with the background harmonies. And then it goes into another song called Did It For You, a little bit more upbeat, which actually is probably the one that sounds most like his earlier stuff, even though it's kind of a mid-tempo. And there's like some woodwind stuff going on in the background. A lot of the songs have like the whatever horns or woodwind stuff going on in it. And then he goes, and there's like another mid-tempo one after that called Try to Get Even, which is probably my favorite one on here. It's got a artist called Tina Arena on it, who I am not familiar with at all, but she sounds fantastic on this song. Kind of a mid-tempo song. The lyrics are really cool. I really like that one. And then it gets to track number 5, which is the most out of left field thing. It sounds like maybe a Chic meets Duran type song, which isn't, I guess, that surprising since he worked with the drummer from Chic, back in the Power Station, and a lot of synthesizers on that one. That one's probably the most out of place song on this whole album. It's like way out there. And then it gets back into a little bit more rocking. I'm getting it home. That one's still a little weird though. And then the last straw is probably a little bit more like earlier stuff. It's mid-tempo-y kind of again. Also track number 8's kind of the same thing. Those right in a row there kind of all got the same kind of feel to them. A lot of acoustic guitar on this album too, like a lot of acoustic guitar. And then it gets to Gotta Give, which is cool. I guess that one features Gary Stringer, who I don't know at all either, but that one's got almost like I don't know, like an early 90s alternative band type feel. I was picturing somebody like maybe The Replacements or somebody like that doing this song. It's got a little cool lyric in it that says, what does it say? Almost bad enough to get, or almost good enough to get a bad reputation. That's kind of funny. And then 10, the song Big Triggers, the other one I was referring to, it starts out with acoustic guitar. It really reminds me of early Bowie type stuff, like Ziggy Stardust and earlier, and just builds. And really cool song though, really cool. And then it ends with the reprise of A Man's Wolf to Man, which is just like a mellower version of it, and then that's it. So I don't know, this one's like I said, all over the place as far as style. Doesn't rock at all like the earlier stuff. It's probably one that's going to grow on me. Everything's cool. I actually like even that weird one called Reaching Out to You, the synthesizer one. Really out of place on the album, but still a decent song. I could find myself kind of bobbing my head to it, so that was kind of cool. But anyway, not at all what I expected. Can't wait to hear the new Duran stuff. It's one of those albums that's going to make me want to go check out some of those other ones I mentioned earlier in his career, because I haven't listened to them in a while now. And even the Steve Jones stuff he worked on was pretty cool, so maybe I'll pull one of those out. I really haven't listened to those in a long time. Not today. There's more albums I have to check out today. A whole bunch of cool stuff came out today. So anyway, I'm sure I'll get to that. But as always, feel free to make your comments down below. Like I said, this is all just opinions. None of them are wrong. They're our own. You can't tell us our opinions are wrong. So it's just fun to talk about things and, make aware of new things out there. Maybe there's something I'm missing that I don't know that he's done, and somebody will mention it. That's happened before with things, so it's always cool to hear what other people have to say. So anyway, as always, like, share, subscribe, and until next time, we'll see you.